Hello, everybody, and welcome to another My Music. Today, I'm going to be speaking to the moon, or at least Luna. What a great name you have. All about his music. And he said just before we started, he's easy, like a Sunday morning. But it's actually Friday when we're recording this. You can come back and talk to us and listen at the same time after this.
Keep on, don't stop. Keep on, don't stop. Keep on, don't stop.
Luna, thank you for joining me. Thank you for coming into the world of My Music.
Well, thank you for having me. Lovely to be here.
I spotted your Instagram. I trawled through it. I listened to the clips, went off, listened to some music. It's fantastic.
Oh,
Where do you dream this stuff up from?
inspiration comes to me anytime, really. And the idea behind Luna Carina was just to be in a project that's kind of, without rules. So I can kind of do whatever genre I want to do, work with other artists, whether I want to do a song in a different language, or I want to bring a 7-string guitar in, or a string quartet. Do you know what I mean? Like, I wanted to have a project where I could just be free, do what I want, and collab with as many different people as possible.
It sounds there's a song title in there. I want to be free to do what I want.
Coming soon.
yeah, absolutely. So what's your background musically? I mean, have you studied music and production, and where's it start?
So I actually started music fairly late. I was always a sort of fan for many years, but I didn't start playing bass until I was 16. And then after learning bass, I sort of picked up a bit of guitar, a little bit of keys, and just sort of, I played in lots of different bands. So yes, I studied, I did a college course and a degree and a master's degree in music. And throughout that whole time, playing in lots of different bands, different people, different styles, and just keeping busy, really, not doing enough coursework and too much,
doing the real stuff, making the actual music.
Yeah, and then it just sort of, I suppose, like a lot of people's projects these days, Luna started over the lockdown. I was writing a lot of songs. Some of them are sort of remnants from a previous band, like stuff that I never got to sort of pitch in time. And then others are things I created over lockdown. And then it's just, like I said, it's taken on a life of its own, really, become its own little thing.
That's cool. So now listen, so if someone scrolls through your Instagram, for example, and they see some little clips of like what music you're currently putting out, that's not necessarily what you're going to be putting out in the future. Is that the whole concept? Yeah.
Kind of. Like, I mean, recently I've tried to streamline it a bit more and sort of have a bit more focus on the, say, featured song, what's going to be released next, and sort of keep the momentum going. So currently Prague is the main sort of song out at the moment. I'm sort of trying to keep momentum on that. So I've got a music video coming out for that soon as well.
Nice.
So that's just in the production stage at the moment. And there's a remix too that I'm working on for it with a friend of mine.
Wow.
And then sort of once that lifespan's over, it'll be to the next song, which is, I'll say, about halfway there.
Cool. Now you're working with other musicians. Where do you find them? How do you pick?
Different every time. So some people on the album and singles and stuff have been from past collaborators, like people I've been in bands with, people I've just sort of met at gigs, and then others just left field, random. Like there's a few I met on Fiverr, of all places. I was like desperate for vocals, working on a track, trying to find something specific. But yeah, some of the best people I've worked with from Fiverr, to be fair.
That is crazy.
Yeah. Like, honestly, Nakane, so the singer on Prague and Barriers and a few other tracks, we actually met on Fiverr, and we've worked together now for like 4 years, and she's got just an unbelievable voice. So like, I'm privileged to work with someone like her,
Wow. Had she done anything like this before? Had she done other projects like this before?
Oh, God, yeah. I think she's done hundreds of projects. I think she's like session vocal extraordinaire. Like, she's done it all.
Wow.
Yeah. Honestly,
why is she on Fiverr, for goodness sake?
I think she's just got a good finger. And I mean, to be fair, Fiverr, admittedly, you have to sort of filter through a lot of people on there to find the thing you're looking for. But if you look at it in the sense that there's a niche for everything, there's going to be a singer that can do a bit of it all. Like, for example, again, on Prague, there's the Czech spoken word section, like in the middle. Obviously, I only knew one person that could speak Czech, and obviously don't speak to that person anymore. So I had to look elsewhere. And I went on to Fiverr, come across Elena, lovely person. And I said, can you just lay down this poem for me? Banging. She did an amazing job. And to be fair, I rate it. Like, that's the thing, as a niche. I was looking for a Czech spoken word artist. And boom.
That is
like that, you know?
So this is really only music that could be made today, isn't it?
I guess.
In a way.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot more now that we have the internet, so we can talk to anyone in the world, collaborate with anyone. Everyone has a home recording setup. So, I suppose it's this day and age is the time to do it. And I mean, there's a lot of things.
It could have been made in the past, but you would have had to find these people out in the world somewhere.
The old-fashioned way. Go to gigs, meet people. I mean, to be fair, a lot of the people I've collabed with on the Luna records are people I've gigged with in the past, people I've opened for me, and just and this, when you see people at gigs, oh dude, we've got a collab, we've got to work together. Obviously it never materializes half the time, but so I wanted to make a project that could kind of make that happen, and again, it's allowed me to work with people I never thought I'd get the chance to.
I think your music is very much it's the kind of music I love to listen to, and it's the kind of music that kind of takes the listener off into their own little world and starts making them come up with their own scenes in their head.
Exactly what music's supposed to be for. I mean, music, if it's nothing, it's it's art. It's beauty's in the eye of the beholder. So like, it's amazing that people can take away these meanings from songs, and it's just a privilege, I guess, of being an artist.
Yeah. Do you have an idea for the visual side of all of this whilst you're making it, or do you wait till the track is complete and it's its own body, and then you go, oh, actually, that's what I see here?
So it's sort of track dependent. Like, some things just stick out to me straight away. I can't not see it. Like with the music video I did for Virtue, I don't know why, but I just had that kind of hula hoop look, someone hula hooping. I just wanted that to go with the song
right there.
It made sense, so like I had to make that happen for the video. But in terms of the graphic design, that's all done by my very good friend Jack, otherwise known as Cosmic Rabbit, pictured in some of the Luna posts. So there's me and two other guys. There's George and Jack. So Jack, graphic designer, he's amazing, incredible artist. I play with him in another band called Wonderlux as well. Like, he's a really cool guy, and his capacity in Luna is he does the sort of art. I sometimes sort of get his opinion on some things. Like, it's good to back and forth with someone. And then the other guy, George, he was a singer from a previous project of mine years ago. And I just thought he had a wicked voice, and I have to keep working with this dude. He's such a natural talent. So I kind of got him in as Luna Carina's, how do I say it, like kind of default vocalist, like having my backing vocals and his as well, just to kind of keep that familiarity to the music a little bit.
Well, now listen, with all these great names that you keep throwing at me, right? We know that Damon Albarn at the moment is talking about there will be a next Gorillaz album, and therefore maybe another tour. Could we get you lot supporting? I mean, it'd be great. I mean, it just feels like, two art projects together, and kind of like all those great names would just be brilliant.
It'd be a dream. I mean, I'd love to bring back the live Luna aspects. We did do so I did try and do a live band a while ago. Like, we played the Isle of Wight Festival and sort of a couple of gigs here and there. But it was quite difficult to arrange because we have a lot of songs in different languages. We have so many instruments and so many songs. And I ended up sort of doing other bands as well. So at the moment, Luna's more of a recording project to collab with, but I do intend on reviving the live aspect soon. And opening for someone like Gorillaz would be insane. Because I mean, I guess they would be one of the inspirations, like Damon Albarn, or someone like Trent Reznor from Nine Inch Nails. One sort of guy, but sort of represents the whole project with loads of other people within it. And I suppose that's kind of the same thing I'm trying to do with Luna. Yeah,
it has that kind of feel to it, doesn't it? When you start to put tracks together, where do you start? Is there a particular instrument you all tend to gravitate towards?
It depends. I mean, normally the catalyst of most of my songs is bass. I'm just jamming around.
That's where you started. That's where
Yeah.
it feels. Yeah.
Most of the time, but not always. I mean, some, as cheesy as it sounds, come from the heart. So like Retrospect, Barriers, and Prague, I actually wrote the lyrics to those 3 songs first, and I had like a very rudimentary idea on the acoustic guitar, and I sat down one evening, well, for each one respectively, and just churned it out on the acoustic, and the rest came together naturally. But no, I'd say most of the time it's usually a sort of bass idea, and then I'll stack guitar lead lines, play with effects, and I'll usually beatbox a drum part and show a drummer.
Do you?
Down. Yeah. I mean, I can't beatbox, but I sort of just make noises with my mouth.
You need to release that at some point. Right.
Yeah.
I feel like just feel like the vulnerability of that could be quite endearing,
Never know. I mean, to be fair, if I were to show you the original version of Prague, it was crazy different. It was just literally the acoustic guitar, me tapping my table and like singing horrifically over it. Like, it wasn't until Nakane came in and sort of, made it magic, really.
Yeah. Has anything completely changed as a song from start conception to, I mean, it's, when you read these stories and someone goes, well, actually that dance song, it actually started off as a sort of wet bossa nova. It's just like, and it was rubbish, and then suddenly someone went, and we went, oh yeah.
Yeah, many times. And sometimes it's I'll come in with a song and I'll go to a guest artist, and most of the time I'll have lyrics and a melody all kind of planned out. Then other times I want their input and I want sort of hear what they come up with. And sometimes they'll come up with something so cool, I'll be like, oh damn, I've got to change everything. Like the track Eager to Gain from the album, that was a hip hop track, but it is now. But originally it was more, I don't know, it's more of a kind of rocky song. Like I had that chorus hook and it was more, I don't know how to describe it. Kind of like, the band, the Brand New Heavies, kind of like that.
Yeah.
And then I ended up getting stuck writing the verses. And I just had a moment where I was like, do you know what? Screw it. And I went to a rapper called King Marino and I just said, can you lay down a verse? Like I've written this chorus about, feeling like a number, feeling like a sort of bot in the grand machine, feeling like the world's against us, blah, blah, blah. Lay down a verse from your point of view. And he knocked it out the park. It was dope. It was so good. And then I was like, okay, I went to the next rapper, Necro G, and I said, take this rapper's verse. I want your interpretation of it, but make yours angrier. Like be angrier, be more pissed, like be really angry at the system. And because
and
the rap they did, I had to change the track.
Yeah.
I completely changed it. I changed all the drums. I added 808s instead. I did a more kind of soul-driven bass part for it. I took loads of the guitars out, and got a completely different beast in the end. I added some of those sort of Middle Eastern instruments in there, and it was just like, actually, yeah, this track is way different to what I started. Anna as well from the EP. That was more of, again, an R&B kind of track. But then I just, in my head, I was like, oh, the lyrics are really dark. How do I make this track darker? I know, 8-string guitar. Let's go. Let's make it metal. Let's get some double kick drums in there. Let's get some guys screaming. Screw it. And again, I think the track sounds a million times better because of it.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic. Great story. Great story. I'm glad we teased that out of you. Now you mentioned like Middle Eastern instruments, etc. And we were talking earlier about Damon Albarn. Of course, he went off to Mali and did the whole Mali music kind of thing, and then some of that has kind of come into some of the guerrilla stuff, etc. Is there a place in the world you'd love to visit because of instrumentation or whatever that you would then draw inspiration from?
I mean, if I had the ability to, I'd do a full-on Paul Simon, and do the whole thing. But I don't know, anywhere specific. It's a tough one. Honestly, if I could go to another country and do music, I want to go somewhere that doesn't have a music scene. I want to go somewhere that hasn't got any music, and I'd want to
Right.
See what I can get out of people, if that makes any sense. Like,
Yeah.
it sounds crazy, but I'd rather go somewhere where there's devoid of music and be like, right, what can
That's
you do?
interesting. Is there anywhere on earth that's completely devoid of music, do you
I
think?
mean, obviously there'll be music everywhere you go in its own form, but when I say music, I mean a sort of conventional sense, like
As
Western
we
music.
would know
Like,
it.
yeah, I want to hear. I don't know. I'm sticking a guitar in front of someone that's never seen one. Do you know what I mean? Like, I want to tap into new stuff. That's what I want to really do deep down.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's exciting. It sounds like you're incredibly driven to like discover something new. Is that part of this?
I want to just learn all the time, to be honest. Like, that's it. I do want to just learn and constantly build, because like something my uncle actually said to me years ago, he's a piano player, you never stop learning with music. And that is so true. If anything, I'll say I'm a worse bass player than I was 5 years ago, to be honest, because I don't practice as much. But like, that sort of stuck with me, because like, and he's someone who's like a god level piano player, like insanely good, incredible relative pitch, can play anything just instantly to a high standard. But even he's like, oh no, I've got so much to learn. There's so much I don't know. And there'll be questions. It's just like, yeah, you don't stop learning. And I suppose that is it. The beauty is in the journey rather than the result,
Totally. What's the I've asked this before of several people, but I think it'd be really interesting coming from you. What's the best lesson you've learned so far about music that you've applied? I'll give you an example. When I spoke to Troy Miller, I mean, he said to me the best thing that he ever learned was learning about space, learning when not to play.
Oh yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah.
Very important. Knowing when not to play is huge, because like, obviously when you start, you just want to fill in every gap, but like knowing when totally. Sometimes the best drum fill is not doing a drum fill and then just coming back on bang on the one, and it sounds wicked. But honestly, it's not like a lesson per se or one thing I've learned. It's one thing I would want to impart on new musicians. And it's like, if you really love music, just prepare to get your heart broken. Like, not by people, but by yourself and your art.
Wow.
It's going to hurt. Like, it does. Like, I say music's broken my heart more times than it's healed me, to be fair, but it's still worth it. I keep coming back for more. But yeah, that's the only thing I could really say to new artists, to just be ready to have it break.
That's profound. Especially for like, whatever time it is on a Friday afternoon when we're recording this.
It is 4:20 actually right now.
Yeah, 4:20 on a Friday afternoon.
Yeah.
Wow. How has music broken your heart?
Oh man, just so many ways. Like, there's the constant feeling of not being good enough or not living up to an expectation. There's when something doesn't come together exactly how you planned, or even little things like years ago when you start a band, right, and you write all these amazing songs, or you think they're amazing, and like you bring them and no one's interested. Like, that sucks, dude. Like, one of the bands I was in before, we called Sexy Pretty Things, and I was in that band 8 years. Loved every second of it. Like, my best mates in the group. But I'd really feel for our lead singer, because it was his passion project. Like, he was a drummer that transitioned to guitar and vocals, and he was really passionate about it all and like really pushing it. And there'd be days where like the other us three, we wouldn't have learnt the track. We'd be like, oh, or shit, I forgot this part. So I'm kind of contradicting my point earlier a little bit, but like it breaks your heart, because like I bet that hurt him. Like, oh, they weren't interested in my song. I can't even be fucked to learn 4 chords and play it in time, learn the structure. And it sucks, because it isn't a lot. It's really not a lot of effort. It's really not to like do that sort of thing. And I've had it with me where I've written songs and it's not quite lived up to hope, or you've gone into a studio with a track you've played live and people love it, and then you record it and it just doesn't quite hit the mark. Or I don't know, again, in a more modern sense, like look at Spotify. Obviously they do a lot to help artists, but they also do a lot to kind of make it more favored towards a certain group of people, like the ones with a bit more money. Like, you go on the Spotify editorial playlist, you only have about a 1% chance they're going to hear it, even if you do 8 weeks, right? Then your song doesn't get pitched and you start questioning, oh, is it not good enough? Did I not try hard enough when I mixed it? Did I not write my pitch properly? Was I not sincere in these lyrics? Did I really get the point I meant to get across? Or, you know, it's a lot of questioning, and that just breaks your heart, you know.
I think even people that don't make music but listen to music may appreciate that, especially if they're real music lovers.
Yeah.
I've said before that there's a kind of infinite sadness in me that there's music out there that I'm never going to get to hear in my lifetime. Do you know what I mean?
That's a beautiful thing to say, to be fair. Like, there is so much art in the world and we're not going to get to see it all or hear it all, you know.
Yeah, but it's a sadness as well.
It is.
Do you know what I mean? It is a sadness because you just think,
dark.
what if I haven't heard the bit that I would really want to hear?
And the sad truth is you probably haven't. Like I take sort of my sampler here, like I'm on the Isle of Wight, and it's quite a small place here, but we've got just heaps of talent, like so many good artists here, like, and I've seen them come and go over the years. Like there's one band about 10 years ago now, Goodbye Stereo, absolutely amazing, like passionate musicians, really loved the craft, their fans loved them, they're just, honestly, they were the perfect band, and I was like, they are going to make it. If they don't make it, I've lost faith in the industry. But they didn't, and it wasn't because of any of their fault of their own. Just things happen, life got in the way, and yeah. And the thing is, there's a band that I think made some inspirational songs that are like people are never going to hear, or there's like people even play down at the pub down the road. They have like really heartfelt, acoustic, quiet songs that they're like, I go up to them and say, dude, go and record this stuff, get it out there. Like, it doesn't matter if it's going to get 1 million streams or whatever, just get it done, like get that out of you. And they're just like, oh nah, I can't be bothered, I don't think I'm good enough, I'm a bit crap. And it's like, stop that, man. Like, even if one person enjoys it, in a sense, like you're depriving the world of your art. You know? And I've had loads of songs I've written in the past that I've not released, and I feel like it's almost a crime. Like, you know.
I mentioned the same episode again, but if you ever get a chance, go and listen back to the episode that I did with Troy Miller. But again, we were in a band together when we were 14, and he went off and he had the most amazing, well, he still is having the most amazing career. In fact, he was conducting at the Royal Albert Hall last week for Beck. Right.
Yeah. Awesome.
So he's just had the most amazing career. But again, I asked him the question along the way, you know, have you met musicians who are some of the best musicians in the world that haven't made it? And he said, yeah, absolutely. He's got friends that are, without a shadow of a doubt, magnificent musicians, but they just, it's a choice. And it doesn't necessarily, it's not even that they didn't necessarily do what they should be doing. You know, it might be that they were brilliant in another field as well, and that's what they should have actually been doing with their lives and whatever. Yeah. You know, and I think every musician knows that. I think every musician, even at the top of their game, the ones that really do make it as well, I think every one of them knows that as well, that there are people out in the audience watching them that are far better than they are.
Yeah. Even on a small scale, I think that half the gigs I play, I'm like, yeah, you could do this better than me. Yeah. But the thing is, destiny isn't linear, is it? It's like,
no,
you could be a great artist, but also be meant for something else. Like, as a guitarist I used to work with, and I'll probably say to this day, the best guitarist I've ever been in a band with, he doesn't play anymore. He does photography, but he's got an absolutely gorgeous eye for like, so like, to be fair, he's still creating art. And it's just like, well, I guess his time for music just was a quick window, you know. The lucky few got to see it.
I think it's a beautiful thing. What are you working on next?
So in terms of Luna Carina, or just in general?
Just in general.
Luna Carina, we've got the music video coming out soon for Prague, and a remix a couple of days before that, probably, if we can get the timings right. And then I'm working on another song called Anella, and that's going to feature Nakane and Suzanne, who are both artists I've worked with multiple times. Probably my two favorites. Amazing. Sorry, guys. So we're doing that one.
You've got to tag them into this when it goes out, right? So they can just gush over the fact that you're gushing. All right.
But like, they're amazing. I can't wait to release that. It's quite a sort of personal song. It's lyrically kind of a sequel to Prague in a way. It's about the same subject matter. So yeah, that's coming out soonish. Release date, keep an eye out. And then One Deluxe, we've recently announced we're playing the Isle of Wight Festival this year at the Kashmir Cafe. Timings to be announced. And then we've got our recent single, Finest Hour, that came out a few weeks ago. We've got another one in the works, again, soon to be announced. And then my other project, Streetwise Foxes, which is my friend Danny, who's currently on the other side, Down Under. I'm just finishing off the EP. We've got 4 tracks. I'm just producing with my friend Stu from Hungry Hound Productions. And yeah, so quite busy, like quite a few little separate things coming out, but it's good to be busy.
You are a busy man indeed. Thank you so much for coming and spending a moment or two today
to
come and talk music. No, not at all. Folks, do go and check out the music. That's the most important thing. And when you do, we will be adding some music to the My Music podcast playlist to make it easily accessible to you. But do stop by on the Instagram or whatever else and say hello and tell our friend here what it means to you, because if you don't do that, then literally all you're doing is streaming stuff to to yourself and not really paying back for it. Because trust me, Spotify doesn't pay people. No, even though this is on Spotify, who are fantastic for putting this out. There we go. Thank you so much for coming and talking to me today. Guys, this has been another My Music. I hope you've enjoyed today's conversation. If you've liked what you've heard, do go and share it with other people. And remember, you can go and pick up on previous episodes at mymusicpodcast.com. We'll see you again soon with more My Music. Bye for now.